Welcome to Real Impact. This is Roger Pascal. Today I've got with me Pam Clary, and she is the owner of the Impact Decatur Alliance group. But right now, let's start with who we are. We are Impact Real Estate Training. We cover all the systems regarding real estate training. We teach you how to build a business. We teach you how to take your business to the next level. If you're a existing realtor or existing investor, and this is what you're looking to do, and you're looking to expand your business, we're here for you. If you are a new investor, we are here for you. We have the best training system out there. We teach you how to build your business. Anybody can go out there and throw a house under contract, but it's when you don't know how to go take that next step, how to build your team, how to make sure that you have the biggest pool of money available, that you can get all the money you can ever want or you ever need in this business, to build your contractor list, to build your everything about your business, mining your business and marketing your business. That's who we are and what we do. We have the best system out there available, bar none. I've been in this business for many, many years. I've seen lots of people go through other programs. I've seen lots of other programs out there. Nobody out there can hold a candle to what we do. So welcome to our meeting tonight. Our topic tonight is wholesaling, and I'm excited about that. Wholesaling is a great part of the business out there. It can be your primary business, or it can be part of your business. It really doesn't. There's no limit to that as far as what you're doing on that. So we're going to tell some stories tonight about wholesaling. We're going to talk about.
But, hold on, Roger left a very, very important part out. If you're wanting to know, you need to go to realimpacttraining.com.
Absolutely.
He forgot to add that in.
Absolutely.
So
we're going to have that. We have it on the screen right now. That's a great place to go. We have 3 areas in there. If you're interested in franchises, we have that in there. If you're interested in what we do as far as coaching and how we build that up, and how we have the best coaches out there. We're actually out there really doing the real estate, really doing this business. We're not sitting in a cubicle somewhere reading a script. And then we have the section of the website where when you're a student, you go into that. We have a bazillion things in that where, I mean, it is just amazing what
you can't go through it all in one day.
Well, you can go through it all in a month. We have so much information on there. But I'm going to start out right now with I heard a joke.
Oh,
are you ready for this? All right.
I'm ready.
So I heard a joke. The guy's driving down the freeway. He's going about 70 miles an hour. And he looks over next to him, and here's a 3-legged chicken that runs and passes him up. So he speeds up, and he's trying to catch up with this chicken. He's going over 100 miles an hour, and this chicken's just leaving him in the dirt. And he finally, chicken finally turns off onto this farm to market road, and he turns on that road, and he's chasing that chicken and trying to figure this thing out. And the chicken turns into a farm driveway, and he goes down that farm driveway, and he runs into the barn. This guy slides his car over to the side. You'd give me about time. Am I taking too long? So he slides his car over there. He gets out, and there's a farmer there. And he says, "Hey, did you see that three-legged chicken?" He says, "Yeah, that's mine. That's all my chickens are three-legged chickens." He said, "I've never seen anything like it. I was going over 100 miles an hour, and that chicken was outrunning me." He says, "Yeah, that thing, I have a bunch of them. That's what I breed." "Well, what do you breed those for?" He says, "I breed them because my daughter and my wife and I, there's three of us, and we all love chicken legs." The guy says, "Oh, are they tasty? Does it taste good?" He says, "I don't know. We hadn't caught one yet." There you go. So, all right, now let's bring everybody on the screen. So let's do this. Let's get some questions out there. Oh my gosh, we've got tons of people on tonight asking questions, and we have some great questions up here. So let me go around the board right quick. In the top center, we have sort of like the Brady Bunch here, isn't it? So top center, we have Dennis Henson. Dennis Henson is the president of Real Impact. He is the reason for this. Dennis has been in this business for over 50 years, been coaching for well over a decade, and he is just the library of real estate investing. So there's Dennis, and then over to the I guess that would be considered the right top right hand corner is Tony Jardou. Tony and Cindy, they own Impact Arlington and Impact Waco. So we have Tony and Cindy on here. Cindy really is a real person. She's not a make-believe, so she's over to the side over there. So hello, Tony. Good to see you here tonight. And then over to the up underneath Pam and I is Doug and Renee Toon. And Doug and Renee Toon own the Impact Longview location or business. And so they're on here tonight. And then we have Tal Wynn, which is our newest, kind of our newest, our newest franchise, or she and her husband David own the Impact Oklahoma City, and they just did a phenomenal meeting yesterday. So congratulations on that, on your second meeting, and saw pictures of it. Y'all had a full house. Wish I could have been there, but there you go. Then over next to Tal is Karen Maxwell. Karen Maxwell is corporate, and Karen is our sales guru of this business. She's always reaching out, working with the existing IMTs and looking to talk to people looking to buy franchises. So we have there, and then actually our newest guy is Eric Short. He's on the bottom down there because he hasn't ranked coming up yet in the ranks. So that's Eric Short right there. He is the owner of Impact Grand Prairie. That's Grand Prairie, Texas. So excited to have everybody on here tonight. So our questions tonight, and Karen, did you want to go ahead and start moderating our questions and getting us started here?
I sure can. I absolutely can. Our first question is, do I need to get my real estate license in order to wholesale? Remember, tonight's call is about wholesaling, so that's what we're focusing on tonight. So do you have to be a licensed real estate agent to wholesale? Who wants to take that question? Roger and Pam?
Well, I'll go ahead and jump in there and get that.
Go ahead, Roger.
Well, in Texas, you do not. And actually, it depends on how you structure the deal. And even in Oklahoma has some regulations out there. Those can sometimes be worked around. But you need to work within the law wherever you're at. You need to make sure you're not putting yourself into a situation that you that you may run into some sanctions or fines or something like that. But in Texas, most other states, you do not. It is where you put a property under a contract, you control that contract, you control that property, and then you can go out and you can market that to other people. There is a place for wholesaling out there. Let me throw this out there really quick. There is a place out there for wholesaling. There's a ton of people out there that are selling their properties, and they don't want to be messing with a realtor. They don't want to have to mess with showing their properties. They don't want to have to mess with any of the repairs. I've been a realtor for a long time. I've seen a ton of people come through and retail buys, and they're like, my client, the buyer's agent will say, my client will never ask for any repairs. When it comes down to it, they ask for repairs. And in wholesaling, normally everything is put up front. It's a fast close. You're not waiting on a mortgage company. You're either wholesaling with hard money or private money or a bank line of credit, and it closes very quickly. So I just want to throw that out there. So Karen.
Okay, great.
Here's the main reason people think that they should be a real estate agent when it comes to wholesaling is because they want access to the MLS. That is the number. When people say, when you ask people and they're like, well, I need to go get my real estate license so I can have access to the MLS. That's the multiple listing service that real estate agents use. And here's the thing about it is, Realtor.com, Zillow, a lot of those are fed off of the MLS and everything. And it's only as good as what the real estate agent, the information they put into the MLS. And we've got a lot of other different programs out there that is just as good as the multiple listing service and if not better in some ways. So I think that's one of the confusions that people get.
Okay. I think Dennis wanted to add something. Go ahead, Dennis.
Yeah, it's hard to sit here and not say anything. Okay. Ideally, if you wanted to have it the best of all worlds, you would have one of the people in your family, the wife or the husband, that is a realtor, and the other one that's not, because there are advantages both ways. There's a real advantage not to be a realtor. You're not a professional. You're not held to the same standard. If you ever get in front of a judge and you've got that professional stamped on your hair, they expect you to know everything and do everything right. If you're just a real estate investor, sometimes that helps out. But if you have a husband or a wife, then you can always do whatever you have to do. If one of them wants to list it and the other one sell it. So that's the ideal situation. But if you don't have that choice, I think it's better not to be a realtor. If you really know what you're doing, sometimes you're restricted because of all of the things that you can't do in order to keep your license. Well, if you're not a realtor, you don't have any restrictions. So that's my 2 cents worth. Thank you for letting me jump in.
All right. Anybody else have anything to say about that? I know Tal. Tal, go ahead.
Tal, you're on mute. Oh, there we go. Whoop.
Yeah. So I guess I'm from Oklahoma. So Oklahoma a little bit different. So with Oklahoma before November 1st, 2021, you don't have to have real estate license to be a wholesaler. And then November 1st, 2021, there's a Real Estate Wholesaler Act officially go into effect in Oklahoma. Basically, so I have to clarify, this is not like a realtor license. It's just real estate license, which is very, the cost is very minimal. You just need to take a test, do just like I would say 90 hours of class and then take the test. So your total cost probably about $500. Just get a real estate license. So you don't really have to pay for MLS access. You don't have to pay to be a realtor, some kind of membership fee to be a realtor and all. So the reason Oklahoma Real Estate Commission require wholesaler to have real estate license because over the past few years, Oklahoma have some problem. The consumer have a lot of complaint about some wholesaler may mislead them on a couple of things and clouding the title and all things. So that's why Oklahoma is one of the first action to address this issue. With Oklahoma, being a wholesaler, you just need the real estate license, very basic license. MLS access, you can actually have a friend. Well, my broker, she actually let a non-licensed to have full access to MLS under me to be my assistant.
Yep.
So really, with MLS, you don't really have to have license to get access to MLS as well. So
You're right.
that's a really just one thing that's different in Oklahoma. Just a real estate license.
Okay, that's good information. Thank you so much for that. Okay, our next question is, how can I wholesale a property if I don't have the money to buy the property? So I think I want to start out with just kind of going over a little bit about what wholesaling is. So with wholesaling, you don't actually purchase the property. You get a contract for the property at the set purchase price, agreed upon purchase price, and then you assign your equitable interest in that property to your cash buyer. So you're not actually bringing anything to the table to close on that property. You're just kind of making the middle money. You get the property under contract for 20 and you assign it to your cash buyer for 30, then you're going to get 10,000 at closing from the title company, and it'll be on the HUD and all that good stuff. So it's super, super simple. You don't have to have money to get started in wholesaling. So that's my 2 cents. What say you? Anybody else?
You did a pretty good job.
I'll go.
Okay, go ahead, Doug.
Okay. We use an options contract, and the options contract is really like a stock option where you pay the seller an options fee, and it could be $1, it could be $100. I use a nice crisp $100 bill because it makes them feel good. And you fill out the options contract for the purchase price, and then it's notarized. We actually do it down at the bank, and it's very official feeling for the seller. And we go and we file that option at the courthouse. Yeah, record it at the courthouse. And what that does is it creates a title flaw. And so when you get ready to get the buyer and the seller together, so it gives me time to go find a buyer. And I find a buyer, and I tell the buyer, well, it's going to be 10,000 over what my contract was. And I get the buyer and the seller together. The title company calls me because I'm a title flaw, and they ask me, well, what is it going to take to get out of this, get this flaw off the title? And I'll tell them how much it is, and they send me a check, and there's it's really very clean, and it's not very restrictive on me, the buyer. It holds the seller to a price and a time period, but I can let the option lapse, and it didn't cost me anything but maybe $100. So
That's great. That's great. Thank you for sharing that.
Wait a second, Doug. I'm a little confused here. Okay, so explain. So you say you're using an option contract. So
correct.
but you're making conversation with the person up front. I mean, you're not just going out there and putting an option contract on every house that you think you want to buy.
Right.
No. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
It's
Well,
an agreement.
I just want to clear that. I just want to clear that up, because there's some people out there that think when you said that you recorded at the courthouse and you're clouding the title, we just wanted to make clear that you're not just going out there and doing that on every single property. You are having a conversation with that person first.
Yeah. The seller signs the paperwork. Everything is okay with them.
Okay.
So,
I just want to make sure I understood that.
Doug, I wanted to get some clarity on something as well. If you don't find a buyer, and let's say it's been 3 months, and the seller comes back and says, hey, I have somebody else that wants to buy the property, then you get first right of refusal, right? And if you haven't sold it and you don't have a
Yeah.
buyer and you're not going to buy it, then you would just release it.
Well, it depends on how long my options time period is. If I get an option for 12 months and they sell it at 3 months, I still have that option recorded, and the title company still has to call me. I mean, I may not hold them to the 10,000. I may say, well, I'll get out of it for 3,000, but you know,
But you
it's
have
just
that
up
flexibility.
to the time, right? Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you for that. All right. Anybody else want to add to that? If not, we'll move on to the next question. Okay. What if I can't find a buyer? Would anybody here buy a
I'll
property?
answer that, or I'll
Go ahead. Go ahead,
I'm just going
Renee.
to give a short, quick answer, and that is the beauty of networking with other people at Real Impact Franchises is you will have buyers there. And so if you're showing up at a meeting near you and you do your networking on the front end and introduce yourself and find out, hey, are you interested in buying houses? You can get you a list of names and numbers of people who are there that are interested. So you find the deal, you'll find the money at your Real Impact meetings.
Exactly.
If you can't find a buyer. Yeah. If you can't find a buyer with the option contract, it just runs out and it's over with.
Well, in our market today, you should be able to find a buyer.
Oh, absolutely. I agree, Pam.
Our inventory is low,
right?
And I mean, you know, there are lots of ways of going out there and finding a buyer. And one of the best ways is to go out there and put it on your Facebook, page, and posting it. And then, like, we said, posting it with our impact community as well.
Dennis?
That's right.
Well, here's the ultimate answer. If you can't find a buyer, you need to take Real Impact training. You just
That's true.
You just need more knowledge. It's not that there are always buyers regardless of the market, but it's just you need to know what you're doing. So if you take Real Impact training, you'll always have buyers and money.
That's true.
That's true. Absolutely true. I want to pause real quick to say hello to everyone in the chat. Ruby Gonzalez says that this is her and her husband's first time joining us here. So welcome you guys.
Ruby.
And of course, John McEnroe and Capri, Chris, Stephen, and Matthew. And that's it. Yeah, they all said hello, and I forgot to acknowledge that earlier, so I'm sorry. I do want to clarify. I see a comment here from Stephen. Speaking of a contractor list, Stephen, did you have a question about that, or are you a contractor, or what was your point to that? In the meantime, while I wait for your answer, I'm going to go on to the next question. I'll answer that one real quick about the first kind of buyer. Like everyone said, we have a network, and we send our deals to each other, so we know we know that when there's a deal. If I hear of a deal I sent one to Tony Friday that was in his area where he'd invest, and he may not take it, but I sent it to him because he's the one that I know that invests in the Waco area. I think it was in Hillsboro, maybe. So anyway, that's we have a great network, and if I see one in Longview that I think Doug and Renee might want to tackle, I will send it over to them. And so anyway, you just by networking, you get to learn where people are investing and what they're looking for. And as a wholesaler, that's your job to go shopping for them, because they are out flipping properties and buying rental properties and putting tenants in them and getting their rehabs done. If you brought them the sweet deal, they wouldn't have to go look for it. So we always appreciate that. But make sure that you buy right.
Karen, talking about that and talking about buyers, everybody needs to remember, you need to really go to realimpacttraining.com, because you brought up a good point. Tony has Waco and Arlington. The tunes are down, in East Texas, in Longview, in the Tyler area, Erickson, Grand Prairie. So if you're looking for a buyer and you don't know where to go, if you tune into Real Impact, find our location, and then contact the person that's head of that location, we will all work together trying to help you find that buyer. So make sure you go to the website if you're having a problem finding a buyer, because we're all here to help that person find a buyer. So,
and I tell people all the time, post it on our Facebook page. Go
yes,
post it in, go post that property on Tony's Waco page. Go post that one on the Tyler
Yes.
Lindale page and Longview page. So it's all about networking. As a wholesaler, you've got to network. You've got to know who the movers and shakers are and learn what they want, and go find it for them. Go ahead. Does someone have a question?
Karen, it's Tal.
Go ahead.
Well, and also in some case, if your buyer, if you could not find a buyer that interested, it sometimes may be because of the price or the condition of the property. So you can always ask the buyer, say, what price would you want to buy, and you can go back and renegotiate the price with the seller as well. And sometimes it works.
Yes.
Yeah,
for sure.
A lot of time, if you could not find a buyer, so probably the price is too high, or there's some problem with the property. So if you can go back and say, hey, this price, or when we do inspection, did this thing come up? So maybe you can renegotiate a price and make things works.
Absolutely. Yes, thank you for that. It's a great reminder. Dennis, did you have a question?
No.
Okay. We do have a couple of questions over here in the chat. I want to acknowledge those real quick. Stephen says that he's a contractor here to network, to help where he can, and make sales and value even better anytime you can. And he says he's here in Longview, although he's looking at possibly diversifying and getting into this simultaneously. So, Stephen, I think you and I were talking on Facebook, and I think I got you added to their group, in the Longview group. That's Doug and Renee. Can you wave, Doug and Renee? So make sure that you get over to their meeting, and I've got you on their group, so you should know when their next meeting is. It is second Monday, right, Doug and Renee?
Text messages.
Second Monday of the month. Okay, great.
Hey,
perfect.
Karen.
Karen. Yes, ma'am.
You need to tell everybody, like Stephen, he's a contractor. They need to post their phone numbers. So, I don't know where Ruby is or anything, but if she's doing something in Longview, I mean, if I decide that I need a contractor, because I'm looking at a property in Mineola, I would love to have Stephen's phone number. So everybody that's on the chat, y'all need to be posting your phone numbers so that we have those, so that everybody else has that information, so that we can get
we love contractors. I'm always talking to contractors' pages.
So everybody that's on the Fireside chat, make sure you put your phone number out there.
Yeah, John McEnroe is a contractor here in East Texas, and he comes to our meetings. And so,
so he's not a tennis player? He's not the tennis player?
No, he's not the tennis player. No.
All right.
He builds metal carports and shops and stuff. Okay, Ruby says they are just starting out with investing, mainly wholesaling. They're learning prop stream to find deals, but not sure if that's the best area. What do you use to find deals for wholesale? And then she's in Tyler.
Tony just had an incredible 2 meetings regarding a lot of that. So, Tony, can you kind of share how you're getting your list and where you're picking that from?
Sure. So we use Real Estate IQ. It's a service. It's a monthly service, or you can get an annual subscription. And Real Estate IQ provides motivated leads. At least that's how they advertise it. They'll provide lead lists, which are lists based on certain criteria. For instance, a foreclosure list or an eviction list, a substitute trustee, divorce, bankruptcy. They have upwards of 10 lists. It's going to depend upon your county, and you can subscribe to them. And they provide those lists daily, Monday through Friday. And those lists are updated because Real Estate IQ does the research at the county courthouses. And they do that throughout the state of Texas. So you can subscribe to that service. Those motivated sellers are the people who are experiencing some sort of pain point, whether that's a personal problem, a financial problem, or a property problem. even those who are on the probate list, which means that they have possibly inherited some property. It may be that they don't want that property and they're looking to unload it, especially those folks who don't live anywhere near that property. So Real Estate IQ is a great place. If you reach out to me personally, we have worked out an arrangement with a company where we can provide you with discounts for their services. But there are a lot of lead lists out there, companies that produce lists that you can buy. You can filter for whatever criteria you want. The other thing is, if you don't have any money, there are a lot of ways. You can drive around, look for properties that have a lack of pride of ownership. You can go actually door knocking. Dennis has a great technique. It's called the Apple technique. And that's a way of going door knocking, very unobtrusive for the homeowner. And you can do that. You can learn that. Once again, as Dennis referenced, Real Impact Training Systems provides you with all of these types of ideas on how to find properties.
I have a question for Tony. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. He mentioned list, and then he said a list of substitute trustees. I bet no one on this call, well, except for the IMTs, have any idea how that list could possibly help them.
Yeah, great question. I should have mentioned that. Thanks, Dennis. So a substitute trustee list is kind of an indication that a loan is in delinquency status. So that means they're past due. So what happens is when a borrower gets a deed or gets a mortgage loan, they have a deed of trust associated with that. And that deed of trust has a trustee listed on it. Well, if that trustee is no longer around, or that mortgage company is not local to the area, that trustee may not be either. So when the borrower is in a delinquency status, that means they haven't been paying, they may be nearing a foreclosure status, and the lender may be starting to think about posting them for foreclosure. And because the trustee is nowhere nearby, or may not even be around anymore, may be deceased, they need to substitute the trustee that's on the deed, because the mortgage lender doesn't show up at the auctions, the foreclosure auctions. It's the trustees that do, who are listed on the deeds. So the lender will find a substitute for their trustee if that trustee is not available. And they don't wait until 3 weeks before the foreclosure auction when they typically start posting if a property is going to go to foreclosure. They do this well in advance so they can line everything up. And that's a great list to look at, because it gives you an indication before the foreclosure list that those properties are experiencing a pain point. So,
And we should call them right away, right?
Oh, yeah.
Knock on the door, like phone call.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is you need to go to the courthouse the first Tuesday of every month, regardless of where you're at, and because the trustees are showing up. You need to go and introduce yourself. I know David Stockman. I can call David Stockman's office and ask him, hey, do you know where this property is going to in certain counties and everything. The best thing to do is go get to know these trustees at the courthouse. They are in Tarrant and Dallas County. There are 4 of them. They are there the first Tuesday of every month, and they've been there for the first Tuesday of every month for the last 5 years. So go get to know them. Go, and they will answer your questions about foreclosures, about the pre-foreclosures. There's no better lesson than to go down to the courthouse the first Tuesday of every month.
Doesn't mean you have to buy. Just go learn, network.
That's right.
Make contacts.
Meet buyers.
Meet buyers. Yeah.
Yes.
Ruby, I put signs in yards. Super simple, super cheap in the areas where I wanted to buy. You had to watch out though, if make sure that you're not breaking any laws, and you get your signs taken up, and they'll call you and they'll be mad at you if you put them on like right-of-ways on the highway and stuff. But anytime I have a property that's empty, or even if I have a tenant in it, stick a sign in the yard, because I want to buy more properties in an area where I already have properties. Personally, I wouldn't use PropStream, simply for the fact that everybody else is using PropStream. So those people are being inundated with calls and already, or letters and stuff already. It's
They're right now also, but with PropStream,
you
they're
can't
not
do
doing.
comp.
Is it the souls?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not.
You're just not getting comps.
Yeah,
You know.
you can't get real good comps on PropStream right now.
Yeah, they
because
have
they're doing.
And there's other services out there.
Yeah, there's other services, but everybody needs to be aware of what's going on with PropStream.
Yeah, that's a recent event.
Yeah, that just happened. So they lost their contract or something, and they probably will get it back, but who knows? And I know I use Propelio, and I know Tony's used Propelio, and I believe
Real Estate IQ.
Yeah, Real Estate IQ.
that's
Yeah,
more
for
of a
pulling the list. Yeah. And I'm sorry, I missed Nelda's question. Nelda, I completely skipped from Stephen to Ruby's question. I apologize for that. Do we have anything else to add on where she can find good deals for wholesale? Ask.
Yeah.
Tell everybody that you know that you're a real estate investor and that you're looking to buy properties. Tell your family, your friends, post it on Facebook, for sale pages.
Come to a Real Impact meeting.
Definitely come network at the Real Impact meeting. Ruby, make sure that you get in touch with us. We have a meeting in Tyler coming up on the 1st of February. Roger and I'll be there, and I believe Eric will be there as well. So make sure that y'all make it to that and come and network with us, okay?
Isn't that like $99 a month?
No.
Oh.
And Nelda, so Nelda's question is, on the contract, how can I buy the property as a wholesaler? Do I put my name on it, my LLC, and or assigns? Who can answer that for us? All of the above, yeah. Anybody have any thoughts?
Well, let me jump in there. Doug had the best answer. Using an option contract is clean and easy. It saves you money. It saves you time. You don't have to worry about an assignment, and it'll probably work in Oklahoma. So that's what we call specialized knowledge. If you've been doing it a number of years, or if you know what you're doing. So an investment in Real Impact training is really not an investment. You know, it's something that you're going to get back 1,000 times over.
And it helps you shorten that learning curve.
That's true. If you're going to use
you made a mistake.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, because all contracts throughout the United States are assignable. So it doesn't matter. I don't know where that came from. And I'm not an attorney, but I sure pay enough of them's vacation and buy their houses.
Nelda, I personally put it in my name and or assigns. Just so you know. If I was going to, because that way, even if I was going to buy and hold it in an entity, I can assign it to that entity. Because sometimes whenever you're buying a property, you don't know what your end goal is going to be. You have a plan, but then somebody comes up and wants to buy it before you ever get to rehab. But we've had that happen before. So you just never know. So I always just put either my company name and or assigns, or my name and or assigns. Just depends on where I'm at that day. Let's see. All right. I think that's all that I have on that chat. Chris, we're at in Tyler. Go look for us on Real Impact Tyler.
Training. RealImpactTraining.com.
Yeah, go to realimpacttraining.com and click on the locations tab and look for us in Tyler. We're on MeetUp and Facebook, by the way. I believe we used to meet at the Better Business Bureau, but I think this next month we're going to have a different location, and I'm not sure if it's been determined. Is that right?
Yeah, we're working on it right now. They're supposed to give me an answer tomorrow.
Okay.
We may be going back to Brisket Love right off of 849, right outside of Hideaway, off of 20. So we're working that right now.
Brisket Love, maybe. So just make sure that you connect with us. You can send us, find us on Facebook, MeetUp, and message us, or take down any of our names, look for us on Facebook. Go to Facebook and type in Real Impact Training, and you'll find Real Impact, and you'll find one of us, and we'll get you set up with the right person. Okay. Let's see. Where do I find the contracts and assignments? Where do I find a contract to write it up?
realimpacttraining.com.
Dennis, did you want to throw that out?
We have everything on realimpacttraining.com. And if we don't have it, I bet Dennis will put it on there.
Well, they're on. There's more contracts and options on there than you'll ever need. The problem is people get confused and they'll say, "Well, which one of these? Any of them will work." But some people are just obsessive compulsive. But it's time for a commercial. I'm going to break in here and do a commercial because we've been on for a while, and this is important. Mark your calendar for March the 12th. And this has to do with wholesaling too, because we have the best person for deal structuring that ever lived that's coming to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's going to be at the Sheraton Hotel in Arlington on March the 12th. Pete Fortunato is going to be here, and he's going to be spending an entire day talking about structuring deals, how to use your brain instead of your money, how to find deals and tie them up, and it doesn't cost you a penny, and you just make money. And I had real estate groups for almost 15 years, more than one group, 2 groups a month for 15 years, had lots and lots and lots of speakers. But Pete Fortunato was head and shoulders above every other speaker that ever came. I took 19, look, I've been investing for 50 years. I took 19 pages of notes. So the best, if you want to be a wholesaler, the best thing you could possibly do is write that date down, March the 12th. I think there's a discount going on right now. Talk with your group leader in your area. Maybe they have specials going on. I don't know. But if you just want to go and read more about it, go to realimpactevents.com. Realimpactevents.com. You will not be sorry that you came. You're going to, well, after it's over, you're going to be coming into this call and saying, "Oh, God, thank you so much. That was just wonderful. I learned so much in such a short time." End of the commercial.
And we're back from our commercial break. Thank you so much for that, Dennis. Ruby has a quick question. Is there a fee for the training?
No. You make money. Well,
so Ruby,
kind of.
Yeah, let me throw this out there. Our training, we can start less than $1,000, but it's really specialized. It really, what we do is each of us that are on this call, and even the ones that aren't, we sit down with you. We want to gather some information. We want to see where you're at, where you want to be, and then we can work with you on a program that's going to work for you. So reach out to Ruby. I think you said you're in the Longview
Tyler
area, so you can reach out in Tyler area. So you can reach out to me, or you can reach out to Doug and Renee Toon, and we'll be glad to answer any of those questions you may have.
But Ruby, our monthly meetings at our different locations are free. So you're welcome to come there and meet with us, and we can absolutely tell you more about that as well. But go ahead, Dennis. I'm sorry.
Call the number on the screen. If you don't know it, out to Roger, we'll put you in touch.
Yeah, that you can call the number there, the 817-371-8658. That's 817-371-8658. I know I have trouble seeing on my screen on my computer, on my phone as well. So I just wanted to make sure I said that. Nelda, you're very welcome. Okay.
Hey, Karen,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
have something. So
Sure.
all of us IMTs on here, I have a question to ask. Does anybody in here have a YouTube page?
I do.
I do.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the reason why I'm asking, there's a lot of people that don't. Pete Fortunato has a YouTube page. You need to go check him out. Go check him out, and you need to figure out why you need to come to our meeting in March, because I went and checked him out. I know why I'm going to be at the meeting in March. So go to YouTube, pull up Pete Fortunato, and you will come. It'll make you come to the meeting. You'll be happy that you came.
Yes, I'm super excited about that.
And Karen, let me jump this out real quick. Is an IMT is Impact Master Trainer. All of us here are master trainers. We know what we're doing. We've been doing investing for years and years. We've taken a hold of Dennis's program, his system, and we can relay that on to you. So that's what an IMT is.
I thought I was the queen.
You are. She's the queen of
Queen
rehab.
IMT.
So there you go. All right, Karen, you got the floor.
Okay, let's see. What is the benefit of wholesaling?
To make money.
There you go.
Right.
To make money without investing a lot of money. That's right.
And I'll add something to that. So for me, I learned wholesaling because I didn't have any money to buy properties. And when you wholesale, it doesn't cost you money to get that property. It may take you some, a lot of phone calling and a lot of legwork, which at that time I had free time. But then it really teaches you to buy the property at a bigger discount than what the investors are buying. So you got to come in. If you're going to buy, like, for example, in my area that I'm in here, the properties used to be selling for 65% of the after repair value. So we had to buy them at 60 or less %. So if a house fixed up was worth 100,000, our investor wouldn't pay more than 65. And then we had to also calculate the repairs. So if it needed 20,000 repairs, now they won't pay more than 45,000. So then I had to learn how to go in and get that property for 40,000 so that I could make that spread and still pass that good deal on to my buyers. Now the market is crazy right now, and people are paying more. And it used to be 70% kind of across the board, and then you'd find hot pockets where they'd pay 85, and those were certainly exciting. But what's the best thing about it is if you learn wholesaling to learn that technique on how to buy so cheap, then you get in the position where you can start buying and holding, and especially when you're using creative financing. And so you get to keep the property. So you got it even cheaper than you would have if you had bought it from another wholesaler. So just throwing that out there. Anybody else have anything to add to that?
Somebody had on the chat a while ago whether or not the March the 12th meeting is going to be on MeetUp. It is. It's not going to be online. It's going to be in person only, but it should be in most of the MeetUp sites. It will be not. It'll be on all the MeetUp sites tomorrow if it's not on there now.
Yes. We are in the process of getting it.
Register.
Each of our locations is different, so each of our locations have to get theirs posted and everything. And so now that we have all of our details, we will be posting that. It will be. You can click on the event on MeetUp, but then there is a fee for it, so you can't just click that you're attending. You have to purchase that ticket for that all day event, and you definitely don't want to miss it. But come to the free event. I think he'll be here. What, 3? Is it 3 locations?
4
locations, and then the all day.
Yes.
Okay, so 4 locations. We have 12 locations, and we're adding more. So now we can't go around to all the locations. So I'm super excited about that. All right, let's see. I had another
Well, let's go
one.
back. Does any of the other IMTs have anything to say about the wholesaling? They ask what are the advantages.
What's the benefit of wholesaling?
Do what?
It was what's the benefit of wholesaling? Anybody else? Can you think of any other benefits?
No, I think we covered them. You buy stuff cheaper and make money. That's the advantage.
Make more money. Yep.
Sure. And it's not a buy and hold strategy, so you don't have to deal with tenants and toilets.
Right. Wholesaling is a lot of work. It is a one and done type thing. So if you buy a property and then you wholesale it, that you made that money, but that property's gone. So if you want to be a real estate investor and you want to buy and hold, this is more of an active investing. You want to have passive income. So.
It's a good way to start.
Absolutely.
But it should just be one tool in a toolbox full of a lot of other things.
Right. So ask me how many tools you need to put in a Phillips head screwdriver when you only have a flathead.
Yeah. Also, as an investor, I think it's a pretty good way. Like Dennis say, it's a tool. Sometimes I don't actually wholesaling a lot, but a lot of time when wholesaler give me deals and it might not work for me or that, and then I would just pass it to another investor with a smaller fee, you know. So it's like we daisy chain wholesaling. Everybody still get the number they want, and even the I don't take the deal, but I still can make a little money out of it. So it's a pretty nice option to learn to know, because you know you can do a lot of things. You can be very creative with real estate.
Right.
Yes. Right.
Well, it also teaches you to be a good negotiator,
Mm-hmm.
because in wholesaling, you know, if you can't get it sold, you have to go back to the seller and to renegotiate. So one thing about wholesale, it teaches you to negotiate.
Yep. And that's a very good tool that we use daily in our businesses. So, Gail is asking, what is the name of the website that you use to find the deals besides PropStream? And you said that it was Real Estate IQ. Is that correct, Tony?
Well, it's not a website. So you can't go to a website to buy it. You can go to Real Estate IQ to subscribe to their service, and then they send you the list.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So how can I, Tony, what is your email, or how would they reach out to you to get more information on that?
Yeah. So they can reach out to me at Tony, Tony, at CyntonPropertySolutions.com. That's CYNTON PropertySolutions.com. And if you're interested in that service, then I'll be able to provide you with a link where you can get a pretty good discount with the monthly subscription, and even a better discount with their annual subscription.
And didn't you say you also have a discount with Propelio, or
Yes.
where they get like a longer free trial or something?
Well, you get a 14-day trial, and you get the first 2 months at 50% off with Propelio.
Yeah. So Propelio is who I use instead of PropStream. I've found both of them to have strengths and weaknesses. And the guys from Propelio are in the Dallas area, and they're on Facebook. And I don't know them, but I feel like they're celebrities that I'm following around because they're like doing all this neat stuff, and they're people that I want to be like. And that was their companies. That's why I chose them. Andy says
I'm using a service that's called Trying It Out, and it's a 14-day free trial. It's called Batch Driven.
Okay. Give us a report on that. Let us know how you like that. Andy says he just moved to Longview, and he is interested in tax lien deed investing. How do I start as a new investor? I bet Doug and Renee can answer that. You are in the right place if you just moved to Longview, Andy.
Yeah.
So, meeting.
Andy, just give me a call. Our number is 903-704-0743. 903-704-0743. Call us tomorrow during office hours, and we'll set up a time to talk to you about all the options that we have. But we've done a lot of tax deeds. Texas is a tax deed state, so give us a call.
Yes, Andy, they are our resident tax deed experts. So you're definitely glad that you moved to Longview, and we'll look forward to meeting you at our meeting in February.
Karen, we've got about 7 minutes left on the call.
Okay. I think that might be the last. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Tal, go ahead.
Sorry, Karen. I think there's a quick second part of the question after the PropStream. What amount do you usually put down for the Earnest fee?
Oh, yeah, you're right. How much do you guys put down for Earnest money? Everybody.
Really, it depends on the deal. Usually 50 to 100, just so the title company has they're not going to be putting it on the back burner if there's a zero Earnest. But in Texas, if you're using a Trek 1 to 4-party contract, it's really easy to put in there, and you can put that in there. You can put an option fee on top of that. You write one check to the title company, and you're done.
Yep. That's all negotiable. That's the answer, Gail. Whatever you and the seller can come to an agreement on. Mm-hmm. Yes, Stephen, you're welcome to call Doug and Renee as well.
Talking about option fees, it also depends if you're competing against other people. So if it's a property, if it's a property that you really want and you know you're competing against other people, then you want to put, and you need to make sure that you want that property, but you need to put a high option fee down, not so much the earnest money, but the option fee to the contract.
Absolutely.
Yep. Especially if you found a house that you want to buy, that you're wanting to buy and hold, for sure.
And I'll give an example. We bought a property back in September in Justin, and she was talking to some other people, and we knew that the property was going to work. We put up a $2,000 option in that contract to make sure we ended up with it, and we're going to end up making over $100,000 in profit. So there you go, talking about, how much are you going to put up in, option fees.
Now, your option fee goes towards your purchase price, right? Even though you pay it up front.
Right.
And you
Well,
lose
it doesn't
that.
have to. It doesn't have to. If you want to make sure you're sitting there competing against other ones and you want that property, I mean, if it's worth it to you, give that person that option fee money. I mean, it depends on the situation and how bad you want that contract.
Mhm.
I mean, in our situation, I mean, we were dealing with, because we discussed this, our next step was going to be, let the sellers keep the option fee. It doesn't have to go towards the contracts. But again, that's where real impact training comes in, and how you learn about all of this is how to do all these different options, So the person I was talking to, they were like, how did you know how to do all that? Well, it's called impact training.
That's right. I think y'all can, I know Stephen, several of you guys are on Facebook because I've been chatting with y'all. I have all these contractors going to everybody's meetings. So when the contractors show up, y'all make sure y'all welcome them, because I'm like, look, we don't have enough contractors at our meetings. We don't have enough wholesalers at our meetings.
No, we
have
don't.
investors that are needing all this, contractors and, wholesalers and all this. And I'm like, come in and network. Don't hide. Come in and network. Get to know us. Get to know our community. Networking is vitally important in this business. I think that's it.
All right. That's great call tonight, everybody. We're right at our time limit. You got one?
I did miss one.
for it.
Ruby, they're all going to be about $100 a month.
What was the question?
I'm sorry. PropStream is about $100 a month. Are the others about that price? Yes, most of them are going to be about that price. I don't know about Real Estate IQ because that was the list pulling service. But Propelio and PropStream both are about $100 a month. But Tony has that discount to let you try it for basically 2 weeks.
Karen.
Yeah.
Okay, but because I don't know how much time we have left, it's really important that everybody's on this call knows about Tony's meeting on Saturday, because it involves CRMs and it goes with wholesaling. I think that needs to be really announced.
And it's
about
this Saturday,
Tony's
right?
meeting. Yeah, yes.
Tony, can you give him a real quick plug on that?
Can you do a commercial?
Sure. Yeah, thanks, Pam. January 29th, Saturday, 9 a.m. to 12 noon at the Texas Golf Center, 8940 Creek Run Road in Fort Worth. We're going to take a deep dive into how to evaluate potential deals so that you don't lose money, but you make a lot of money. We're going to cover CMAs, comparative market analysis. We're going to talk about how to do evaluation on properties. I'm going to share with you the tools that I use. We're going to take a deep dive into evaluating the properties and how I look at rental properties and how I look at fix and flips and the scenarios that I run. And so we're going to have you walking out of there feeling very confident about your ability to not just buy properties, but have a very profitable 2022. And if you're interested in attending that workshop, it's a $49 in advance investment in your business. It's an investment in your business. Go to meetup.com/Impact Arlington, and you'll find that event there, or go to our Facebook page on Impact Arlington. You'll find it there as well. And there's a link there so you can RSVP and even pay.
I bet that's even a tax write-off, I bet.
Yes.
It is definitely worth driving up here, people, and going to this meeting. You're going to really learn a whole lot. So
it won't be on Zoom. A question just came in. No, it won't be on Zoom. It'll be in person. for the
We
workshop.
are we as at Real Impact, we are all about one-on-one training. We do these Sunday night calls, but all of our courses, all of our training are live and in person. Like we're one-on-one with you. So that's we don't offer that yet. We do have some things that are online only, but as far as our meetings, come on in. Don't be shy. Welcome.
There you go. Karen, thank you so much. Hey, guys,
You're
thank you
welcome.
so much. On the YouTube, if you're on YouTube, look below this video and you'll see a link to all of our locations, all the Facebook groups, all the meetup sites, everything else. Next week, we do this call every Sunday at 7 o'clock Central Time. Next week, our call is going to be on setting goals and your criterias. So join us next week. We're excited to have you on here. We have the best trainers in the business. Everybody on this call are business owners. We all own our own business. We're all here to help you.
We're all active
and active investors. There you go.
We actually
Experienced,
do what we
active. We do what we preach, teach.
Absolutely. So
realimpact.training.com.
that's it. So join us. We'll look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks everybody for being on here, and we're at our 1 hour mark. Thank you so much. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.